Give me 1 second, and while I'm gone, you can view my office area. This is the one room in my house my wife lets me have.
You're listening to Sappenin Podcast.
Sappenin!
What number of episode is this?
327.
You are listening to episode 327 of Sappenin Podcast, featuring myself, Sean Smith, and my good friend, Morgan knows what number episode this is, Richard!
Yes, this is me, Morgan Richards, who knows what episode it is. And this week, hey, let's cheers to this. Because if they can't hang, then there's the door.
I know they've got a song about James Dean, but I wish what happened to James Dean would happen to you.
Does that make you Audrey Hepburn?
I don't know, but he got decapitated.
What a way to find out.
Yeah, I know. What? I thought he wasn't well. Anyway, this week's guest is the fantastic Kellin Quinn.
Yes, Sleeping with Sirens fame, one of the scene's iconic vocalists for the last 15 years. And someone just has an incredible reputation for his high voice and live show performances. We've had Kellin on this podcast over 5 years ago, and I thought it was about time we brought him back for another chat.
5 years.
That's half a decade.
That's mad, isn't it? That's crazy that we've been doing this. We've been allowed to do this for so long, and nobody stopped us. Cheers, everyone, for letting us do this. But yeah, it was a great chat. Fantastic catch up with Kellin. So a little bit behind the scenes for you. I do a little bit explaining who I am and what I've done if I think the guest doesn't remember my big long head. And I started my spiel, and he went, "Oh, I remember this from the last time," which was perfect. It was literally the way he said it as well, was the perfect vibe to get us into this wicked, awesome, very fun, sometimes funny chat.
We broke into massive, we popped through it. We just laughed out loud as soon as he remembered that. So you never know. You never know if people are going to remember us, but he did. And we're like the best of friends during this whole conversation. The reason he is on is not only to have a laugh with us and just have a good time, but he's got a whole new project, a new musical outlet out called Haunted Mouths. His debut album, solo record, A Collection of Greetings, has just come out last week. So we thought we'd get him on to have a catch up and talk all about it. It's a complete different direction from anything you've experienced him sing on before with Sleeping with Sirens. More kind of relaxed, brings out different sides. Music's allowed to breathe, different instrumentation. It's a whole other softer side to his body of work. He's done this with Aaron of Copeland, joining up in between everything else, and we're going to dive into how this really came about. Some really deep lyrical moments for him, some struggles he's had to deal with misconceptions between him and Sirens and just the way things operate. And most importantly, we touch on UFOs.
Of course. I was just about to say, fuck all that nonsense. We talk UFOs and aliens.
We find out his favourite smoothie.
Yep, that was good.
And we also have the biggest musical debate you could possibly have. Get this, everyone. We get the answer to the question, which coloured guitar makes you have a bigger hit?
Oh, I thought you were going to say we talked about the important question. Why are Metallica paying for all of those bands to play the Black Sabbath show? Because they've made all their money off the back of Black Sabbath existing, and therefore should be able to pay for everybody. So the ticket prices were 50 quid each for general public.
No, it's fine, man. Jason Momoa is involved now.
Oh, well, as long as Jason Momoa is there, the ticket's definitely worth $2,000.
It's Aquaman, isn't it? Like, you can't have Black Sabbath's final gig without Aquaman being there.
Blackwaman? No, that's... Yeah, maybe I did. Anyway, quick, move on.
But no, yeah, we're going to touch on loads of different things from Kellin's back catalogue and the future of Sleeping with Sirens, them kind of demoing new stuff as well. I think it's just a very, very good laugh. If you enjoy myself and Sean's utter chaos recording these podcasts and you want to support it in any way, please head over to our Instagram at Sappenin Pod, take a screenshot, put it in your story, tag us, let people know you're listening, share the love, see funny photos of us with the guests and other just scenarios and being on a cruise and like just enjoying life. We're currently recording this little part in his car, which is always means we've been somewhere to do something and we need more time to record. So here you are.
Here we are.
And you can also get even more behind the scenes goodness during our Patreon page at patreon.com/Sappenin.
Yes, we've got a lot of behind the scenes content up on that thing, including myself and James from Deaf Havana butchering Cute Without the E by Take It Back Sunday on the Emo's Not Dead cruise. So check that out. Patreon.com/Sappenin. Should we get into it?
Yes, this is episode 327 of this podcast. Somehow, Kellin Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens and Haunted Mouths is up next.
Sappenin.
Sappenin.
Maybe we need a horn moving forward. Sappenin!
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 Hey!
A better one than we did. And we're the fucking hosts of this shit. But yes, joining us, as you've just heard, is the brilliant and beautiful Kellin Quinn. Kellin, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Yeah, good.
Good, man.
Very much better for seeing you and your office.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. Every once in a while, I like to show it off, you know?
What's the prized possession of the office? I can see there's a couple of records and stuff in the background. What's the one thing in there that you like to show off the most?
I have some guitars in here I like. I have a Monster Tour Water Energy refrigerator that I keep stocked with Polar and LaCroix sparkling waters.
Ooh.
Whoa, when two worlds collide.
I know, right? Yeah. And then, basically I just have a bunch of junk in here that I have to actually go through soon because we're moving to the Midwest. So I have to like clean up and get rid of a bunch of stuff that's in here that I don't need.
Oh. Have you already got office space sorted at the new house?
Yeah, I mean, I assume. I mean, I feel like that's part of the deal, you know, when you sell a house and buy a new one, it's got to have that one room, dude, like that one office room. But my office is like, I clean it probably like once a year, and then it just becomes this place where you have stuff that you've collected, you just kind of set it on your bookshelf, and for whatever reason, it just, I don't know, it still looks kind of awesome at the same time. I don't know. It works.
Well, how are you doing anyway, man? Like, it's such a busy time. There's so much going on with new music and all these projects. But how is the day-to-day just going for Kellin at the moment?
The day-to-day is pretty good. It's been kind of rainy and snowy. And I was just telling my wife that I need to get out and start doing some cardio again. I feel like I've been kind of slacking on going to the gym and doing like cardio and working out. And I definitely feel it, not so much in the physical aspect, but more in like the mental aspect. I feel like running is such a therapeutic thing for me. So like definitely now that it's getting nicer, I need to get back out and start doing it again. So
nice. When did you start running? When did you realize that was
honestly like it was around COVID because I was just so like cooped up. And so I was like, I'll go run. And, you don't have to wear a mask because you're like, you know, constantly on the move. So COVID can't catch you when you're running, you know? and so I just like, I don't know, I got really into it. And it's been like something, and I love doing it on tour for that very reason. It's like you're around your bands all the time and the crew members and everybody. And it's nice to be able to just throw your AirPods in and just like go for 5 and get out, you know, and go explore too. Cause otherwise you just get stuck in the parking lot. And so I always try to find usually like a juice or a smoothie spot that's like 5 or 6 miles from the bus, and I'll run there, grab a smoothie and breakfast, and then I'll Uber it back. So
nice. That's a good routine. I got to ask now, because you've put it out there, and everyone's going to want to know, what is your smoothie order of choice?
Ooh, I love like a peanut butter blueberry kind of vibe going on.
Ooh.
That's usually the one. So anytime there's like something that's got some sort of like protein, like peanut butter or almond butter, and then throw some blueberries in there, and I'm stoked.
Nice. Do you know, I'd never considered peanut butter and blueberries before. And I don't know why.
It's kind of like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when you really kind of think about it. It's just,
yeah.
so I guess I'm just like forever like 9 years old, you know?
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, I'm the same. Like I've got such a sweet tooth that my instant thought was, oh, that sounds like a dessert in a drink. I could do that.
It is. And they put other good things for your body in there. And, you know, like, it's just like, yeah, it's like one of those things where you get your sweets and you get it first thing in the morning, dude.
Yeah. And then any of the bad stuff, you're literally running it off on the way back anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
so
a whole thing. A good cycle.
Yeah.
Nice.
But you mentioned this, still feeling like, you know, never growing up, still feeling like a kid. But I feel like in a lot of ways, since being a touring musician, that's the feeling a lot of people have, right? Sean said this many times on the podcast, where you still kind of feel like in your late teens, early 20s, through doing all this. Is that something that sometimes you feel the same, that there's a lot of that kind of inner child still getting to do these kind of things?
I feel like maybe like the performance part of it, you feel like youthful. But I think like it definitely gets a lot more challenging as you get older, because I love how like convenient your like home life is, you know. It's so convenient. Like you have like I said, dude, I've got my Monster Tour water fridge that's got my LaCroix packed. They're always cold. I'm just kidding. I don't want to sound like a diva at all. I'm just saying, like, I think, you know, being on a tour bus and like traveling and living out of a suitcase can become daunting. So that's why I think I do things like running and getting out and like seeing the city, because it can become very, very like, you know, you can get like lonely and stuck in your head and all those things. So, but the performing part is always makes me feel like a young person, because number one, it's fun to make music. And number two, if you can still punk jump at 38 and not break like your hip or something like that, or, you know, fuck your ankle up, then you're doing great. So.
Right on. Yes. Yes, we are. We are. I'm older. Obviously, I'm slightly older than you, but yes, I love your enthusiasm for still doing jump kicks, because I'm still trying my best.
Yeah, I gotta try your best. And when I was younger, I used to do punk jumps off of like bass cabs, and we were touring like with Pierce the Veil the first time in toms, and those don't have any sort of support. And so jumping off of a bass cab onto hard stage floor is, my back feels it now, you know, like my lower back. So I have to go to the chiropractor and get adjusted all the time.
Yeah, I get I find I get the odd shin splint now and again as well, just from jumping up and down and stuff. And the front, we just turned into old men. We're not here to talk
That's
to
what
be
I was
old
just
men.
going to say. It's not going to be called the It's Happening Podcast or whatever. It's going to be called, I guess it's not happening because these guys are old.
Sappened. That's what happened. That's happened. Yeah.
Oh God.
But yeah.
No. But yeah, it's funny how different you have to approach a lot of things. But you know, speaking of all this, I think I'm approaching different things. You know, this new project you've started now in Haunted Mouths, like completely left field music and just overall vibing anyone has ever listened to you before with Sleeping with Sirens and everything. How did the idea to do this come about in general?
Well, I knew I wanted to do another project, and I knew that I wanted it to be very left field and different from Sleeping with Sirens. I think that there was like a specific category of a sound that I wanted. Like I didn't want the music to sound like too poppy or too happy, because I feel like my voice is just like, it already kind of leans that direction. So I feel like if the music does that as well, it's like, it's almost like too sweet, you know? So I feel like I worked with a few different people to just kind of get an idea of like what this project was going to sound like. And then when Aaron Marsh came into the topic of conversation, I was like, that's perfect, because I feel like he's similar in like the vocal range and style, where you put the wrong music behind Aaron Marsh's voice and I feel like it can be too sweet, but because it's like so dark and melancholy, like his voice has like this, I don't know, like almost like outer worldly sound to it. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do with this project, was have some darker tones to the music and then sing about pretty things. So
nice. Did you meet up with many people to write? Was there anybody we might know of that you got together with?
No, not many people, just like kind of, just kind of kicking the initial ideas around and like making some sort of songs with just friends and stuff like that. And they weren't bad. They were good. And I mean, I feel like I have like so many random demos on my computer that just sit in a folder that I'm sure would, like, I think all the time, like, I'm sure this will work for like anybody else singing it. I just am very like particular about what anything else I do sounds like, because I feel like it can be written off super easily, and I'm sure there's probably still people that only like Sleeping with Sirens, or people that don't even like Sleeping with Sirens, that'll like jump in and be like, oh, this sucks, just because they can. But I think like what I wanted to do was I wanted to make something for maybe not the Sleeping with Sirens fan, maybe somebody that just so happened to like come across it and be like, this is really interesting or cool. And I'm hoping that with playlisting and things like that, that it will get into the hands of people that may not know Sleeping with Sirens, but also be something that Sleeping with Sirens fans can listen to when they're chilling out or driving at night or doing something like that.
Nice.
That must be very refreshing to have that feeling now, because like you've done Sleeping with Sirens for 16 years, right? And it's become such a powerhouse that people just associate your voice to be in front of different music kind of behind it. So getting to actually start from scratch on something, I'm sure, is just kind of a really refreshing feeling, but also maybe a bit scary in the good ways as well.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that movie Rockstar? Like that came out?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. You know, that movie where he's like, he joins the big band and he's like on the arena tours, and then like at the end of the movie, he's in like a coffee house and he's like in this grunge era, and he's like, and then Jennifer Aniston walks in and she's just like, oh my God, you gave away all the money, but you're writing music from your heart. I feel like, I don't know why, but there's something to that. It's almost like, it's like a punk rock rebellion, to like, to like step away from like what is, I don't know, successful in like the monetary way, but like, I don't know, we still have, like, as artists, I feel like we still have to make music that fills like our soul. And so like, to me, that's what this was a way to like step out of the confined box of what Sleeping with Sirens is thought to be and make something that feeds my soul. And I think because I've done that, it's helping me to realize that I can do that with Sirens as well. Like I can make music that feeds my soul there. And so, yeah, it was a great experience all around. And I definitely grew as a songwriter as well.
I read something about how a self-help book really kind of triggered a lot of kind of the lyrical inspiration for this as well.
Yeah. It's called The Artist Way, and it was given to me as a gift from Maddie, my drummer, and because I was dealing with quite a bit of a writer's block. And I think as a songwriter, your greatest fear is you're never going to be able to write a good song again. And that's something that constantly just kind of comes up. So anybody that's watching or listening to this, if you're writing music and you're in a writer's block area, I promise you that everybody feels that way. Everybody has that fear. And so this book really just kind of like beyond what the book is about, which is essentially it's for people that maybe don't think that they're artistically inclined, like, people that have normal 9-to-5 jobs, but have a passion to like maybe want to write or make movies or film or take photos. It basically just gives them the permission to try and to start and to do it. And I think for me, it was just the right book to kind of like get that muscle going in my brain again. There's like writing prompts and things like that to just get me writing. And whether it inspired a song or not, I think just the act of doing it is what gets you on your way to writing good stuff. So
Yeah, nice. I'll check that out. Yeah, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a really interesting point because I always find it incredible that when an artist reaches doing so many albums like you have done yourself, like how would you still find things to either talk about or the inspiration to do something new and not just repeat the things you've already said in different ways? I mean, away from this book, were you someone that would write kind of like notes for things, for lyrics, like all the time? Or is it more like once you're in the writing sessions and mindset, then the lyrics come from that point of time?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we, as we get, so many albums deep within Sleeping with Sirens, it does become a challenge. It does become like this. I mean, because how many times can you play like a power chord in a different way? Or how many times can you like, what I mean? Like there's times where I do go to my band. I'm like, guys, we've written this song like 6 times, But I think what this project kind of helped me figure out is like, I definitely went in with words first and they were just very abstract. And I watched a lot of interviews with different artists to see how they go about the process, because that does become the thing. And I think when you get older as a musician, it becomes less about the inward perspective and more of an outward perspective and how you view things around you. Maybe like somebody else can bring an idea and you can be like, oh, that's an amazing idea to write about. So I just put a bunch of obscure words together that I thought were interesting and cool, and was listening to a lot of Radiohead. And one of the things that I've read about Tom York is that he'll say, and I don't know if this is just part of his persona or not, but he'll say like, oh, none of these words mean anything, but they somehow mean something to somebody else. And so I thought that was an interesting perspective. And I put a bunch of words together. And then once we got a couple songs down, I'd say probably like 4 or 5 songs down, then the topic of the album kind of came into view. I was like, oh, this feels like a love album. It feels like an exploration of love from the point of, good times, middle ground, shitty times. How do you overcome them? And I was like, that's an interesting topic to explore. And so that's kind of what the album became. And once I caught that vision, it made sense. But I think it started off as just a bunch of random thoughts and words, and that's how it kind of was grown.
Where do you keep those words? Is it like notes on your app? An app on your phone, or do you physically write stuff down?
A little bit of both. The thing was like, okay, so as the band has kind of grown, there's this thing that I've done, and I don't know if it was intentionally or unintentionally, but I used to write in journals, and then I would end up like leaving them at the studio, or I would like leave them wherever I was like working on them. And then like years would pass, and because you do transfer things over, you have to type them up and send them to the label or whatever. Years would pass, and then like Justin, my bass player, randomly would be like, yeah, I took your journal because you left it in Portland when we were making the second record. I have it in a box in my house. So I was like, holy shit. And so there's like,
wow.
There's like all these like, how the song started and demo lyrics. And then, like he has one of them. And I think there's some other ones that are like around somewhere, but I mostly put them all on my phone now because it's just so much easier to like sing when you've got your phone in front of you rather than holding like a notebook and all that. So
I love the idea of Sleeping with Sirens fans now trying to work out every studio you've recorded at so they can get some recording time there. They only have like an hour, but they've only paid for an hour just so they can go in and scout about for a dusty book. They're like, they're ready for this book.
Hey, Chris Crummett, do you have a lost and found section? I was wondering if I could go check it out.
Yeah. I've been to the reception in the studio and I can't seem to find any lost and found. Yeah, brilliant. That's brilliant. But, where did you record the solo record at?
It was split over a couple different sessions. So Aaron lives in Lakeland, Florida, and I went down there. I think around, what is it, 2025 now? Is that the year we're in?
Yes.
Okay, the year of our Lord, 2025. I believe it was like late 2023 going into 2024 was the first time. And then I went back in like the spring or the summer. So we did like I think we did like 4 songs the first time, and then 6 songs the second time. We had a little bit longer time the next time. So yeah, just a span of a couple weeks, really. And every day I would go in there and we would make something, and it was great. There was never a day that I walked away where I was like, oh, I hate that one or whatever. I was very open. That's one thing that I think was cool about this, because there was no expectations. And I think especially with Sirens, I find that I go in and I try to like produce the producer. And because I feel like there's like a specific thing that it's supposed to do. With this, there was no specific thing. And I was just very trusting of Aaron, and I just kind of like let him drive the music. And then we would just find lyrics that worked and then build the melody around that.
Wow, nice.
That's the thing, as we've kind of touched on, like Sirens has such an identity to uphold. And if you try to experiment with that, it can be hit with either huge criticism or huge praise. So having nothing to kind of be on expectation levels with this, I mean, I'm sure you found just different sides of yourself, whether it be thinking of things differently creatively or just kind of letting go of a lot, and like a new Kellin, a new like a complete personality identity can live through this.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I discovered was that I have a lot of vocal range in like my lower register, and that's like one thing that Aaron like kind of like forced me to live in on this whole project. It's not like a vocal acrobatic type of album, but I realized like how challenging it is to like be in that and to sing soft and brittle and to like do those things, because I'm so used to just, belting and singing super high. So that was one of the things I learned. And then also just getting a lot of confidence as a songwriter and having somebody that I admire as an artist say, like, these are really great lyrics, or that's a really good melody, like things like that. It's good. It's nice to work with people like that, because I've definitely worked on the other side of it where it doesn't feel like that and it's not fun. So.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like you've worked with so many different people, just with Sirens and collaborating with others. You feature so many other people's songs. But like, when you get to actually sit down with someone like Aaron of Copeland, like, is it a whole full circle moment when it actually like works and you actually have a connection there?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've never like worked with him in a room before, so it's interesting to see his process. And I think it was interesting for him to see my process, and we didn't really have a lot of like feeling out time. It was just kind of like, let's jump in and let's go. And we just kind of trusted the direction. And I think that takes, it doesn't happen all the time. It's not like something that I feel like everybody can expect, or even I can expect. You always want that feeling. You always want to walk into a room and work with somebody and have it just be like, let's go, like running off like all cylinders. And sometimes it takes a little bit more effort, which is also a good thing. But it's nice when you can go work with somebody and it just feels very effortless.
Yeah. Well, on that note, as I just said, like you've worked with a lot of different people, right? Even if they featured on some of your songs, or you've done vice versa, or there's been like one-off collaborations. Is there anyone that comes to mind when you've had the time to work with them and see their process that is kind of either taking you a step back to see like, oh, they do something completely different, or just see how raw and naturally talented some people are, whether it be vocal, like with the vocals, or songwriting, or just rearranging something completely? Because there's a whole list of people, from kind of Charlotte Sands to Machine Gun Kelly, as it is.
Oh, yeah.
You've done it with everyone.
On a producer standpoint, I can tell you like what I love, and that is I love somebody that's very encouraging, somebody that has like a very positive, uplifting attitude. Those are the type of producers that I love to like track vocals with. Like when you do a part and you hear them on the talk back, or if you're next to them in the room and they get lit up and they go, holy shit, that's fucking awesome, let's do it again. That's great. Cannot stand working with producers that make you sing the same part over and over and over again because they're looking for a specific word. It's like, dude, no, we don't need to do that. It's like, if it's not going to take me 20, like, especially for me, like, it's not going to take me 40 or 50 takes to get a line done, like if you don't get it in the first like 15, I feel like that's a little bit ridiculous. Another thing is like when I work with like artists, what I love and what I take away is just people that can steer me in like a different direction that I don't normally go, or I wouldn't normally think. And that's happened with a few writers. I've done records where I've had other writers in the room and we've been working on songs together. And I feel like, God bless them, like, you know, like they bring a lot of ideas, but they're not like something that I can put my stamp on. You know, it has to move here. And I feel like that is definitely the case with Sleeping with Sirens stuff. But I have worked with some writers where they'll bring like, and one specific thing I had in mind was we were working on new demos for the Sleeping with Sirens record that we're doing right now with Will Yip. And I was working with Colin Britton before we decided Will Yip was going to be the guy to make the record. And I just had like, I was just jumping around in LA to like work with different people. And I walk in and Colin had this kid named Elijah and who was the other person? Frick, dude, this is going to suck because I'm not going to be able to remember.
Didn't have Mike Shinoda on the phone, did he?
No. Fuck.
Well, if you want, we can drop his name in later if you like. If you remember it and send it to us.
Yeah, but
Morgan
I don't want to be scrambling around.
No, sorry.
Anyways, I'll think of his name and I'll like text it to you or something. You can throw it in there. But what I loved about the session was I was working with Elijah mostly on kind of going back and forth on what the ideal would be. And we ended up writing this song about being isolated. It was like kind of like out of like the COVID thing. And then how like it makes like being around people in public like so hard because you're so like you were used to like just being by yourself for 2 years. And then how do you go out and interact with people again? It was like a really cool concept. It was called antisocial isolation. And the guy that was writing with us on the couch that I can't think of the name. Fuck, dude. He like interjected like a couple like random words and like it completely changed the vibe of the song. Like words that I would never like ever put into my writing was just like a really cool way for me to like kind of like grow as a writer. And so I'll think of the name midway through this podcast.
It's fine. We'll all do a big shout out for him later on. It's fine. It's like a pseudo name, and I can't think of it like to save my life right now. So, but as well, like I've noticed over recent years, you've ended up just popping up on loads of different bands' songs, right? Whether they be completely unknown or people that we've been friends with and the scene everyone's known and loved for years. When people approach you for that, what is it that you look for to be able to be like, okay, this is a band or a project or a feature I want to lend my voice to?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. Like I like to work with artists that maybe aren't as established because I feel like there's like this fire there and it's not like this. I've worked with a lot of established artists where they give you like little to no idea. They'll just send you like a song and I'll be like, hey, do you have like a theme or any idea for this? And they'll be like, no. And I'll be like, okay, which becomes frustrating because you could like, I can riff a bunch of like random things, but a lot of established artists or even like publishing companies that are just looking to like send a song to somebody will like never give you notes back or just not say anything. And then you'll just be like, oh, cool. I guess they hate me forever. But I've worked with a lot of like up and coming artists where it's like, there's just something to it. And maybe I can like kind of see the potential before other people can. And I love working with those artists more because I feel like my voice will like kind of elevate it. And then it gives them like an opportunity to go off and like do their thing. And I think there's more gratitude and reward in that to me. And, if there's a future in music beyond this band for me, like that's something that I would love to do is like produce and work with like up and coming artists and help kind of like shape like maybe what they do and give my advice or, my ideas to help them.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Well, you've been in this scene in the industry for so many years now that you've earned your stripes, whether it be songwriting or just dealing with ridiculous kind of behind the scenes politics and touring life and everything else in between. And you are now considered one of those people that younger bands consider going to for advice and passing down knowledge, like Mr. Miyagi, right? What is that kind of thing that you tend to say to people when they are kind of like asking you or catch you in the street and be like, yo, I'm in this band, like what do you think could help us get to the next level, or just things to navigate through this industry?
Man, that's a great question. It's tough because, I come from a very different world in the industry that it is now. So I can't be like a granddad and be like, oh, you got to get out there and you got to you got to tour a bunch of, shitty venues and live in a van and make $5 a day. I don't know the current state of the industry or like what it takes to make it. So, I mean, I see a lot of young artists do a lot of like TikTok videos and they'll just kind of like reprogram the single over and over and over again. And maybe that's what you have to do. I have no idea. But when it comes to like songwriting, for me, it just, number one, I think like the biggest thing is try to write a song that moves you. And if it moves you, or like, it doesn't even have to necessarily move you, but if it moves other members of your band, like I always know that I have a good song when Justin, my bass player, comes in, or any of the other guys come in the studio to like listen to the song back and they go, "Ooh, I have chills," or, or if they get like misty eyed or something. And that's not like my aim. And actually that puts like a very, shitty pressure on myself, because if I do give them a song that makes them like tear up or something, then it's almost like that's the expectation for every song. It's like, oh shit, they didn't fucking cry when I played them this one. But writing songs that move you, whether it's like emotionally or, gets you excited, I think that's it. And I mean, I feel like you should be able to do that with just an acoustic and a vocal before you even add anything to the song. Like it should just be there. And if you have that, then I think that anything can go up from that. My other advice is to, even though it's hard, try, and I think like, obviously us as artists, when we first started, we had bands that we admired or looked up to. And I think that we started off maybe emulating some of those things, but try to find the thing that makes you you. And then my last piece of advice would be to just like, keep doing shit that like inspires you and keep changing and keep adding elements to like your music that is a little bit left field so that you don't get bored, because we can get very stuck in what we do. And just like you said earlier, write the same song over and over again. So
if we were clickbaity or any of that nonsense, or we could have headlines, we could run with Kellin Quinn likes to make his band members cry. Kellin Quinn only thinks his songs are good if they get his band members to cry.
Yeah, you gotta cry, dude. There's no tears, dude. It's not a good song.
If this escalates into a massive rumor, it'll be like, it's not a good show until everyone in the band cries. It's not a good bus journey until everyone in the band cries.
It's just gonna keep moving. Yeah, just keep moving the post.
If I can write a song that makes me cry, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
We could write a song that makes me cry, because that's tough, dude. Like then I know I gotta fucking. Oh, I have a really good story for you guys, real quick. I was doing this interview for AP, and it was like an artist on artist thing, and I had to interview the singer of the Goo Goo Dolls, and
nice.
Because we had that Iris cover, and so I was talking to him, and we were having a great conversation, and I was asking him about his like writing process and recording process, and he's like, when you write that song and you write it and time stops and you just know that it's going to be like a massive success, and it just like, you just feel it in your bones. And I just looked at him and I go, no,
no, man. Nobody apart from you and 5 other people know that feeling, bro.
I was like, no, that sounds fucking awesome. Keep going.
Yeah. Where can I get that? Where can I get whatever you've taken to get that feeling? Oh, I love that.
Oh, man.
You know when you just know it's going to be a number one record? No! Nobody does! You and 5 people tops, like, unbelievable.
Yeah. It's like me with like buying electric guitars. Like for some reason I feel like there's going to be one that I buy. It's going to be like the Harry Potter one, dude. And I'm going to buy it. And I'm going to be able to just pick it up and fucking like be able to play any song I want. And it doesn't work like that.
Oh, you just have the guitar store like, this is it. This is the one that gets me the fucking...
Oh man, it's so stupid. It's such a scam, dude. It's just people it's just capitalism. Is what it is.
All guitars sound the same. There's no 2 guitars that have ever sounded different. It's a scam by big instruments, like Big Pharma, but big instruments.
Yeah.
There's some guitarists listen to this now, absolutely fuming. You've just said that.
Fuck him. Guitarist, grow up, will you?
No, dude, I'm not. Hey, I didn't say
No,
that.
you're in on this. You were with us now. Kellin Quinn says, fuck anyone who plays guitar. Yes,
No,
we're in.
No, I'm saying I fall for it every time, dude. It's like maybe if I buy a green guitar.
Yeah. Well,
The magic of the green power.
It worked with Machine Gun Kelly. He brought a pink guitar, and now fucking King of Pop Punk. I mean, maybe it's pink. Have you tried pink? That's the answer.
I don't know, man. Pink doesn't go with a lot of outfits.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
True. That's true.
I was gravitate towards like, like your basic colors because basic goes with everything, you know. But maybe I need a fucking pink guitar, dude. Maybe that's it, or a bright yellow one, man.
Oof.
No one's had a bright yellow one in a while. I don't think. Like famously,
I think Vic had a bright yellow guitar for their last record, and it looked sick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And numerous colors. That's the way. That's the way forward. Everyone. We'll
start like a group email about this. So we'll get this whole thing going. We'll invite people and just ask like, hey, in your experience, what color guitar makes you an even better player than you are already?
Yeah. What color guitar sounds best on record? But imagine having the ability to go in, I think he's playing a green PRS on this bit. Wait a second. That's a 58 Sunburst Les Paul if ever I've heard one.
Well, haven't you heard was it Billy Corgan says that he feels like white painted guitars just sound better to him for some reason?
Billy Corgan says a lot of things to me. I recently found out that Billy Corgan's brother, Corgan's half brother, is the comedian Bill Burr.
Yeah. Do you think that's like a thing, or do you think that's real life?
I think it's real. I think it's genuinely the way Bill Burr reacts when he walks in, because he walks into an interview, Howie Mandela set up with Billy Corgan there.
I saw, yeah.
Yeah, and when he comes in and he just looks at Billy, looks at Howie and goes, you prick, or something like you bastard, or something he calls Howie. And it's like, oh. Yeah, but now,
damn.
And lately, since I've watched that video, for some reason, Facebook and other video platforms have gone, ooh, Sean's really interested in Billy Corgan. I'm not. But so I've now watching videos of Billy Corgan talking to Tom Morello, which keep popping up on my soul, which I'm not mad at because I quite like Tom Morello. My feed's gone Billy Corgan mad lately. That's the.
Yeah, I mean, either it's like the greatest comedic skit ever, or it is real life.
It's got to be. Because I don't think you'd set it up. Because the fact that they're both called William anyway, right? They both are Bill. The father named them both Bill.
Yeah.
Which is, it wouldn't work. I don't think it would work as a bit because people would be like, oh, that's too obvious. You wouldn't, But when they actually talk about it, and Bill, one of the Bills says, can you believe he named us both Bill?
And they're both like wildly successful in like their mode of like entertainment too, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is mad. Like two very successful sons in very different lanes.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
We've gone mad on the conspiracy.
Yeah,
theory.
sorry.
Every now and again we'll go with something, but I wasn't expecting this.
I love it.
Normally Sean brings up aliens. I thought we'd get there first before we get the...
What? Bring the what in?
You love aliens. You ask people about aliens.
Oh, alien. I thought you said baby. I was like, what? You want me to bring... Kellin, here's a child you didn't know you had. No,
Aliens.
Yeah. How do you feel about aliens, Kellin? Pro or anti?
Either they've had a drive-by of our planet and just been like, nah, I'm good. Or I don't know, man. I just feel like they would already have like made contact, or like maybe they are like the beings that like after we've destroyed our, because I feel like this planet has like been destroyed and started over many times. And I feel like maybe they're like the people that come down and give the surviving couple people like a lighter and sticks and go, here you go. This is how you start again.
Like the zookeepers. Yeah.
And maybe this time around, humanity will like not want to war with each other and do stupid shit all the time, and we can figure out how to like all coexist. And then they'll be like, "We've been waiting for you to like figure it out," you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
I really hope that if there are aliens, that they're not like the ones in like Prometheus, where you walk out and you brush against like some sort of bush, and then all of a sudden you've got like some spider fucking thing like growing in your stomach that's going to explode out of you. I hope that those aren't the aliens that exist. I don't like those ones.
Yeah, I don't want... if Prometheus ends up being a documentary, I'm going to be furious. I don't want that. No. I'd like little small lads... preferably grey, big heads, you know, the standard fellas you see in films. I just want them to come down and go, oh, stop fighting, stop farting about with nuclear weapons, you pricks.
Yeah.
And then zoom back up. They can bugger off then if they want, but I'd like somebody.
That would be cool. Yeah, I would like that. Those seem like nice ones. I like those ones.
Yeah, me too. I'm pro. Yeah, so yeah, we're pro aliens. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I don't know how we've got here, but we have. I was going to ask, going back to Haunted Mouths, obviously, like, there's been always a busy schedule for you with Sirens, right? And you said you always wanted to do this, but like, what made now the perfect time to actually like sit down and put this out?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we had some downtime, and I don't know why we had downtime. I don't know. There's always some reason to have downtime. Maybe we were like at the end of a touring cycle, and instead of like actually going home and not doing anything, maybe I survived like 3 weeks or something. I was like, I have to go write songs. I don't know. But it just felt like the right time to do it. I feel like I had tried like some other things like in the past with my music, and I just felt like I wanted to do something besides my band that felt like it was the right sound. And I think like the timing aligned with Aaron and his studio, and so it just kind of like fell into place, and it gave me like the momentum to want to do it.
Nice. Is this something you could see taken to the road and doing live and tours with Haunted Mouths?
I would love to start with doing some specific like shows, and I think it has to have like the specific venue. It's got to be like intimate, and like I want it to be like a place where everybody that comes to watch it can like, I don't know, like enjoy it. Like I kind of liken it to like going to like a City and Color concert. Like if you go to a City and Color concert, you're just like, you're having like a drink and you're enjoying it. You're enjoying the music. You're letting it be like a fun experience in that way. It's not like so I think it has to be like a pretty venue where there's like seating available and you can just relax and enjoy it. And, which puts a lot of pressure on me to make sure that the music and the live performance sounds really cool. Cause if I'm not jumping around, I don't know what I'm doing on stage yet, but maybe that means I'm playing like other instruments and doing that kind of side of things. But, I'd like to start with like a few venues and see how it does, and then maybe work it into more if it's something that is a need or a want from people. So we'll explore it when it comes.
obviously at the time of recording, the album's only been out for a few days, but like, is there any feedback or comments or just reaction in general that is like you've picked up on, or something that has stuck with you a bit more than you thought it would with the reaction to all this?
Yeah, there's been a lot of reviews from publications and magazines, and also from like people that have listened to it. And, you know, obviously my fans are always very, very sweet and kind, but just like publications that say like, you know, this album is like a 9 out of 10, or like the lyrics from Kellin are very like, this is the best lyric writing that Kellin's done on all of his projects. And like the music is amazing. And this is like an album that you will want to listen to all the way through, and just like very positive reviews, which has been very, very awesome to read. So coming from a band like Sleeping with Sirens, where our first review from our first record was a 0.5 star, and it was just like our first album didn't even get 1 star. It got a 0.5 star when it first came out. So anywhere from there is this, dude. You know, it's an upward loving place. So
Yeah. Imagine those same reviewers reviewed the new stuff and they were like, do you know what? Somehow he's got worse. 0 stars. What? No way. I had half. You give me half once. But yeah. But what you got to think with something like that, when somebody gives you like a 0.5 star or a 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10 or whatever, it's normally not even because they don't like the music. It's some sort of grudge. Like it's something that they...
maybe.
Or jealousy.
I think in their defense, when our first record came out, there was a lot of bands that were kind of in that world. So maybe they were just fucking tired of listening to it. Maybe they're just like, I hate metalcore. I don't want to listen to this shit anymore. So in that perspective, like I'll give them a pass. But maybe they'll listen to this new record and they'll give me a full star.
Oh, finally.
Out of kindness, you know?
Yeah, please. Yeah, I'm not begging, but please.
But I mean, I guess at the end of the day, like this is something that I like needed to do for myself. So at the end of the day, like I feel like I accomplished what I set out to do, and that's what makes me the most happy with it. And I guess like other people enjoying it is awesome. And I think that that's one thing that I can say to people coming up in the music industry too, is just that like make music that makes you happy. And if it does that, then you can count on it making others happy as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But
best advice.
I always find full circle like moments like this so funny though, like when someone gives you 0.5 star for that, and then literally like, you know, you just spent a few months touring Cheers to This in full around the stage with fans like Holding Absence and stuff like that. So like, you know, you're playing the album back and you've got to be you're seeing all these crowds going wild for it, and then you just think, how did anyone ever give this this 0.5 star went far.
Oh, that one got more than 0.5 star. It was the very first album that got 0.5 star. The With Ears to See and Eyes to Hear album.
Yeah.
So Let's Cheers to This was adored. No, I don't know if it was. I think like that 0.5 star though gave me the courage to go in and make Let's Cheers though, and kind of have like this fuck you attitude towards it. It's like, well, shit. I mean, if people are giving us a 0.5 star review, then let's just fucking go do what we want to do. And and so
look how it turned out.
Yeah, I guess there is something to negative reviews, and there is something to people putting down your shit, because it kind of gives you the courage and the fire to go out and make something extraordinary.
Yeah.
If you're constantly just like giving like pats on the back and high fives and clapping, then I don't know.
If that was happening to me, what I'd have to do is I'd have to go to Germany and then get interviewed by a German where they come up with the most fucking blunt shit you've ever used in your life.
I think we talked about this last time, but yeah,
maybe
it is enjoyable to go to Germany and have them tell you that your last record was complete shit. But
so your vocals on this new album, you like them? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Why? Thank you very much, German. Thank you very much, German. Do you know what? I don't know. I'm going home. Bye.
But I do kind of love that, man. Like,
yeah, me too.
Me too. It's fucking. That's like And you know what? It's so funny because we put out like How It Feels to Be Lost and Complete Collapse. And for those couple record cycles that we were touring over in Europe, we get to Germany and I do an interview and I'd sit there with the guy and he'd go, your new record. And there's always a pause. It's like the longest fucking wait. I listened to your new record. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Everybody in the band is sitting in the interview going, oh, it's good. Yeah. It's good.
Like, and it's like, let me give you a hug. That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I saw one singer. I saw a journalist go up to a guitarist once and say, so your singer, he is good on new record, not so much live. And I was like, wow, you've just seen the gig for free. And now fair play to you.
Yeah.
That's just good.
I think maybe the greater issue is maybe you're already feeling that way yourself before you go there. And then they just shine the light on what you're already thinking, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, perhaps they're all telepathic in Germany and we just didn't know. Bugger.
Oh, yeah. Feelings that matter. Kellin, we won't keep you too long because, you just got a busy time with all this new stuff anyway. But as you mentioned, Sleeping with Sirens have been in the studio and like demoing new music and stuff. What is the kind of status with that in the moment and kind of the plan for Sirens going forward?
So yeah, we have a lot of demos that I think that I'm just taking like a lot of extra time and care with because it's like our 8th album. And I just feel like, there's kind of like this idea that artists are meant to go in and make an album in like 2 or 3 weeks. And I think that this one deserves a little bit more time. So I'm just like this is like the first record where I've gone through, written lyrics, and then sat with the song, rewrote lyrics with the same song, sat with the song, and then rewrote lyrics. And then it keeps getting more, more and more profound or better to me. And I think I was watching like an interview with Linkin Park when they were making their Minutes to Midnight album. It was like a mini documentary, and Chester had to go in and rewrite. Him and Shinoda had to rewrite lyrics to each song, and then they would submit the lyrics to the rest of the band. And the rest of the band would like read through them and be like, man, I think this could be better. And they would be like, fuck you, man. Like we just spent like 9 hours like going through this. And then they would go back, but they'd be like, but they were right. Like we'd go back through and we'd work on it and it would get better. So I think that there's something to, I always feel like you should trust your instincts and it should feel good. But at the same time, I feel like words are so important and lyrics are so important. And so for me, it's really just a battle with myself. I just have to make sure that the words are right, So yeah, that's been this I guess experience with this record is number one. I think all of us in the band want to beat what we've done before, and we have a producer like Will Yip who's just amazing at inspiring you and being like a great cheerleader. And I think that it's like the best producer to make this record with, because it feels like making that second record. It feels like one of those things where when we did Let's Cheers to This, I would go into the vocal booth and I would ask Chris Crummett, like, all right, I want to do like the specific harmony for this one, but I can't hear it. Do you have any ideas? And he would just he'd be very nice, but he'd be like, nope, I don't have an idea. So I'd have to figure it out. And
yeah.
I'd have to figure it out. And I think that there's a good thing to that. There's a good thing to like kind of digging deep and like pushing through like the adversity and getting to the core of it, because you're going to like love it even more. So rather than somebody just doing it for you,
Yeah. Well, looking forward to hearing the final product when that eventually
Me too.
eventually gets to that stage. But just before we let you go as well, there's a question that we've been asking people every now and again on this podcast. And I think you're going to have a great answer to this. Basically, we want to know the weirdest place you've ever played the show? And I mean that in the terms of like, people have said they've rocked up to a venue and realized they were playing a zoo or an aquarium or a kebab shop or the back of a pickup truck. I'm sure there's some weird places you've ended up being at and thinking like, is this actually the venue?
Yeah. I think like one of our first UK Europe tours, we played somewhere, I think maybe in Italy or something, and it was like a carnival that was like off season, and there was like 3 people there. Oh, and then we played a barn one time. With this band Love Hate Hero, and that was a fun experience. I have a funny story to tell, but I don't want to like offend anyone, so I guess I could tell you guys off camp. It's just a funny story about one of the other members that like. I guess I can tell you.
Well, you don't have to if it's going to get anybody in trouble.
It's up to you.
Okay. So someone I admire very dearly, who's like a very like amazing producer now. His name's Thrasher. He played guitar in Love Hate Hero. Now he does like all of Travis Barker's stuff and MGK stuff, and he's fucking phenomenal. But I'll never forget walking into this barn, and again, I think there's like 15 people playing, and I think it was like the first time we met Love Hate Hero, and he introduced himself as Thrasher, and I was like, bro, we're playing for 15 people, man. Like, what? Like, what's your real name, dude? And he told me, and I was like, I'm gonna call you that until we have a full room, and then maybe I'll change it back to Thrasher. That's my story.
That's a good, just fucking bring him down a level. Oh, Thrasher. No, you're now known as kickflip. You're going to be kickflip until this room is full. Thrasher. Coming in here with that big name. That's brilliant. Yeah. Thank you for that. That was funny.
You're welcome.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We love stories like this. Before you go, is there anything else you just like to let people know about, either with Horton Mouse, Sleeping with Sirens, or just anything going on in your life at all? Please feel free.
I guess my biggest thing is to just say thank you to people for listening to my music, and then also just music in general. I definitely feel like we live in a very crazy time and a crazy world, and I'm sure that it's been crazier than now. But I think that there is something magical about going to a show. And this is me as like a fan of music myself, but there's something nice about going to a show and just kind of leaving all of those emotions and feelings behind and kind of escaping that thought. And I think that's how music is supposed to be. So I just want to say thank you to all of those who listen to my music and feel like the stuff that I create is that for you. Because I have a lot of artists that do that for me as well. So I'm just appreciative.
Well, that's beautiful. What a lovely sentiment to end on.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you very much, Kellin. Thank you for the music. Thank you for the inspiration over the years. Cannot wait till you end up doing haunted mouths in churches. Oh, there's a place in Islington, right, in North London.
Yeah,
that would be absolutely fucking perfect for you.
I may have played there for a Sleeping with Sirens acoustic show. Stained glass windows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect spot. Or there's this really sick barn. Yeah, Union Chapel. Either that or there's this really sick barn that I played in my past. It's
Go back. Full circle. Bring fresh everything. But no, thanks, man. Really appreciate you taking the time. It's lovely to see you again. And yeah, hopefully we get to catch you in the UK with whatever project it is again very soon.
You too, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Peace. Bye.
You're listening to Sappenin Podcast!
Yes!
Yes! I'm losing my mind in this car. That was the delightful Kellin Quinn, who has been nothing but fantastic to us since we've met him and hung out with him and chatted with him.
Yes, he's being very, very nice to us, which is always great. And what else is nice is listening to new music from him, Haunted Mouths. Please go and check it out. I encourage you to, if you love Sleeping with Sirens, even if you don't, this is going to be something that might climb to your palate a little bit. I've been having it on in the background while kind of like doing work and stuff to kind of get me relaxed and focus and all that. So if you're maybe studying, if you're maybe worrying about something, have that on in the background to get you started, and then you'll be hooked on it. And then eventually when he does those UK tours, you can go and be even more relaxed in person.
Yep, when he plays Union Chapel in Islington. If he does that now, that was totally 100% my idea. And I want everybody to go to the show with t-shirts saying this for Sean's idea. But yes, what a lovely chat. We had a good laugh, as you heard. Do you know what? I thought he would have been more into aliens than he led on. I don't know why. In fact, he's like, well, if they've definitely visited us.
That's your thing now. We're going to find out. We're going to find out who likes aliens and who doesn't. That's one of our future things. We actually had a follow-up message from Kellin that was forwarded to us.
Oh, yeah.
After this podcast.
Did we?
Yeah, we did, because he forgot someone's name.
Oh, he did, yeah.
And he was referring to the producer called Little Aaron. Little Aaron, man.
Nice.
He remembered his real name, his government name, but not his alias that he goes under.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That would have been trouble if he said anything. So Little Aaron.
Yeah. Americans say Aaron, which is wrong.
Little Aaron.
And then we say Aaron, because that's how it's spelled.
Yes. So there you are. So fill in that gap with that information.
I didn't know he did that. So that's, hey guys, listen to this. That's news to me too. So that was cool. I like that bit. His
debut album, A Collection of Greetings, is available right now. Rise Records for all your vinyl needs. And hopefully Sleeping with Sirens will be over very soon. If not, Haunted Mouths, and we can all have a giant sing along together. Whatever the situation.
Surely he should do Sleeping with Sirens headline shows, but then some days do like daytime shows in churches and stuff where he can do Haunted Mouths. You know, I don't want to be the management team and sort all of this out or come up with all the ideas for him, but that is a very good idea.
Very good idea. Speaking of also good ideas and gigs and things that are happening very, very soon.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be on one of those stages.
Am I?
A couple of stages, actually, in the not so distant future. Do you want to plug any shows that you might be screaming at?
I'd love to plug. March the 13th. Well, I don't need to plug that one, do I? March the 13th, the Black and supporting You Music. You can try and come, but it's fucking sold out as fuck.
You bastards.
March the 20th, Raiders, my other band, which I haven't mentioned for quite some time. We've recorded some new music and we will be playing some of those new musics at Fuel Rock Club in Cardiff on March the 20th, where we are doing a headline show. Which means more songs than usual, which means Sean's going to be knackered, which means if they do Animal last, he's not going to be able to hit the notes. But that doesn't matter. Come along. It's going to be great. There's some great bands on the lineup. Check out the information at Raiders Band UK on Instagram. Also, March the 28th, Raiders are supporting our friends in Fangs Out from Birmingham in... what's this place called? I'll get it now. Bridgewater.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what it was? I did.
I had it backed up just in case you forgot.
I've played it several times and I'd forgotten.
I don't know where Bridgewater is, but I know.
It's down the south of England on the left.
There you are. So, down the south.
Yeah, come out. Bridgewater. We're supporting Fangs Out. Fangs Out are fucking great. So Fangs Out are also doing some shows all around that time. So go and see them if they're in your area, because I love them and I think they're great. And then April 2nd, the Blackguard are playing Brixton Academy with UME6 again. You can't fucking come to that, so don't fucking bother trying. And then July 17th and 18th is Leeds Millennium Square. And then the day after then is Cardiff Castle with Funeral for a Friend, The Blackout, Punk Rock Factory, Dream State, who are supposedly only doing Cardiff, Kill the Lights, and Casey. It's an all Welsh lineup, and that is the same lineup in Leeds, apart from Dream State, where Dream State are being filled in by a mystery band who's definitely not Dream State.
It's July 18th, 19th.
July 18th and 19th.
Not far
so
off.
I was Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have been in the wrong place a day late and a day early. Oh, no, a day.
Well,
yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, what he just said, though, come to those dates.
Those. Also, the Blackout and Friends are playing Chepstow Castle.
I hadn't got to that. That was coming, wasn't it? Once I'd finished doing that bit.
You thought I'd do it for you. I
Well,
did if your brain was in
August 16th.
That's correct.
So not
Yeah.
18th.
Chepstow Castle.
Fucking hell. August 16th, Chepstow Castle. Black Gold, Brass Bambies, and the Black are to play in the All Bees lineup.
The All Bees.
Yeah.
Triple B.
If it was scary, we could call it the Boobies lineup. I've turned into you. I hate my life. I'm so sorry about this. But yes, that's everything I've got coming up. I believe Raiders should have something out this year, hopefully. We have recorded songs that are being mixed at the moment, and I'm very excited for people to hear them. So please give us a follow at Raiders Band UK on all of the socials. My other band is at The Blackout Music or at The Blackout on socials, but points following that because we're only doing minimal shows, and then I'd imagine we're going to disappear back into the ether soon.
Boo.
I've used ether twice on this now.
You can follow at Sappenin Pod as well while you're at it. Just get updated with everything going on.
Do that,
follow me at mhrichards_ to see what I've got going on. And you could also go and check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Sappenin, where the whole community of people have joined and made this thing, and it's the whole life of its own, where they're sharing memes and becoming best friends and hanging out at gigs. If you want to get involved, patreon.com/Sappenin. If you had the description of this in every episode, there's loads of names there that we thank. But as always, we're going to give a huge shout out to the elite members.
Nice. Yes. They are as follows, and we love them loads.
Kylie Wheeler, Janelle Castan, Paul Hirschfield, Dilly Grimwood, Nathan Croshaw, Tony Michael, Mitch Perry, Scarlett Charlton, Johanna, Jonathan Gutierrez, Molly Malloy and James Bowerbank, Kat Besant, Amy Hogg, Amy Louise, Chris Howard, Jenny Robson, Amy Dawson, Murray Grimwood, Scott Jones, Mayumi, Stuart McNaught, Ellen Southfield, John and Emma, Jennifer Dean, Caroline Robertson, Jenny Munster, Louis Cook, Carl Pendlebury, James McNaught, Jason Heredia, Martina McManus, Valet Bung. I hope that's real. Valet Bung. What have I said, brother? Valet Bung. Valet Bung. Craig Harris, Thomas O'Neill. Get nothing minor at the Bloodstock by coming to Fuel Rock Club March the 14th and have some fun. Sean Smith guarantees they're that good. As you could tell, that was me reading. If I read anything out, it is not, I repeat, it is not an endorsement by Sean Smith. Thank you very much, Emily Perry, Dan Peregrine, Kalila Keane, Adam King of the Goth Pathlo, Lamdilly Martin, Josh Genie granted me one wish, so I wish to be happy. Now I live with 6 dwarves and work in a mine, crisp. That's quite good. Thank you very much, Laura Russell, Fraser Cummins, Kyle King of the Slothsmith, and Connor Lewins and family. Thank you very much to all of those people and anyone who's ever been part of our Patreon.
Yeah, love them. Love all those people.
Lovely,
thank you very much. If you've ever been part of a Patreon, thank you. If you're thinking about joining, fucking get a move on.
Get on with it, man. We'll tell you secrets. We're going to record some podcasts somewhere literally today. So if you see us somewhere, then we might have been recording stuff. If you didn't see us somewhere, then we weren't recording things there. Unless we were and you didn't see us. Whoa, what's going on? I've confused you.
I'm not in the north of England.
I've confused everyone.
Yeah.
Tune back in next week.
Please do.
And we'll have more people for you to listen to us talk to.
Yep.
That's how this works.
We seem to have forgotten how to talk in static sentences. Static, it's not even a... Anyway.
Sappenin!
All of that went wrong towards the end.
You're listening to Sappenin Podcast with Sean Smith and Morgan Richards. Thank you very much for downloading this podcast or streaming it, or I don't know what else you do with podcasts. Thank you very much.